Hi, everybody. Welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Leah, and on this episode, we're giving you a quick shot of romance author spotlight edition. On this spotlight, I'm joined by my co-host Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
And we are welcoming debut author Ariel Sullivan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Ariel Sullivan lives in Connecticut with her husband, two sons, and their two French bulldogs. Growing up a military brat, Ariel moved every 2 years as a perpetual new kid. Ariel often observed from the outskirts where a deep love of reading was born. When she isn't writing, Ariel loves to read everything from poetry to psychology, bake with her sons, listen to live music, and travel. Conform is her first novel. So before we talk Conform, let's get to know you. So lifelong writer, lifelong reader, what made you decide to write this series?
Yeah, this series kind of came to me as a microcosm of what was going on in the world around us. I started writing this in like the depths of COVID, and that was like a really unstable and different time for all of us.
Yeah.
And it kind of lended to this like dystopian setting that I fell into pretty quick. And then the romance, I wouldn't say it sprung up on me, but it was one of those things that I noticed that everybody was kind of clinging to within COVID. We were all looking for ways to preserve our connection with other people while we were all in quarantine, whether it was, paternal love or familial or romantic. There was like this big drive for human connection. So this novel was really inspired by the state of the world and what I thought people were looking for at the time.
So I read the author note, and it says there's 8 books in this series.
There's 9.
Oh, 9. So
Oh,
that has
9. There's
changed.
a trilogy of trilogies.
Okay.
oh,
So yeah, there's a lot.
I am I'm excited because honestly, like I am not always a trilogy person, especially like I don't mind a trilogy if I can binge it like when it's done, but I there was just something about this book that really was intriguing.
I mean, that's music to my ears. I'm so happy to hear that.
So as a reader, is there anything right now that you're drawn to reading?
I'm actually not reading right now. I don't like reading while I'm writing, and I'm drafting the follow-up to this one right now, and I
Okay.
just finished editing the prequel.
Okay.
oh.
Yeah, so that one comes out in March. And yeah, so I'm not reading right now, but I am a very eclectic reader. I
Okay.
don't have a genre I stick to. I'll read a poetry book, into a psychology book, into a romantasy, into a thriller, into a literary. I like whatever speaks to me, and I'm typically looking for something in the character's story that I want at that moment, more so than the genre.
I mean, that makes sense. Growing up, like I read pretty much only romance now, but growing up, like I read whatever they put in front of me because it was
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was
I think
always
it
like,
keeps it fun.
yeah. And I mean, I always have a hard time like for school. It's like you have to read this book, and I'm like, do I have to? Really? Must I read that book? Why don't I read this one instead?
It's that
Yeah, I will say, if
oppositional
you tell me I
defiance.
have to read it, I struggle with reading it. But if I
Uh,
have the freedom to choose it, I'm open.
yes, it is the oppositional defiance
It
disorder.
is.
Yes, Amanda.
We all suffer from that.
I really do. So, are you facing any challenges like in writing the world that you've created as a writer?
I mean, I think the only challenge is finding enough time. I mean, the biggest challenge was I just mentioned that I finished the prequel. The way I saw the story being told, I wanted to take readers in between the two main trilogies.
Okay.
So the prequel, to give a little backstory, and I mean, I'm gonna just take you all in with me. It takes you
Oh, I'm
back to
okay
the
with that.
last war. So
Okay.
when the
Okay.
world, like when everything happened and how this humanity rose to what it is. Conform, there's this totalitarian government that like
hmm
heavily relied on misinformation and propaganda. And for me, I found the struggle there is how do you give Emmeline and the readers the knowledge they need to know without bending the rules of your own world? Right? No one's going
hmm
to hand you that information unless you go and find it. And so 3 chapters into drafting Conform, I had this great idea as I was taught like writing out information for the last war. I was like, this is a series. Like this is 100%. I have so much to say on this. And I wrote the prequel, the first draft, in like 3.5 months. That's
Uh-huh.
how
Oh,
adamant I
wow.
was about it. So the biggest challenge, I think, was in the beginning trying to convince people that it was a good idea. Everybody was like, no, you release books one, two, three, one, two, three. And I was like, yeah, but what if we just like hear me
Like, what
out?
if we
We'll call it
don't?
conform. What if
Uh-huh.
we don't? Like, and
Yeah.
so in the beginning, that was a little bit of a struggle. I gave them the manuscript, and I am so appreciative of, Jenna, Thousand Voices, Penguin Random House being like, okay, fine, we see it. We'll let
Yeah.
you go. So, but the biggest challenge is in doing that, we wanted to make it quick so readers aren't sitting on that cliffhanger because conform ends, a little brutally,
A little
for
bit,
too
yeah.
long. So that's really the only challenge is trying to get all the words out
Mm-hmm.
quickly and well while managing. I've got a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old, so
I mean, that's a lot.
it's a lot, but it's been fun. It's a fun challenge and I'm enjoying it.
So for your writing itself, have you planned out the whole series? Like, do you know exactly where it started and where it was ending? Or are you kind of having like an idea of where you want it to go and just letting it flow?
Yeah, no, I know where it's going. I
Okay.
am not a structure like outliner where it's like chapter one says this, chapter two, because that for me really kills my creativity and flow.
Okay.
I've been coining the term mapper. It might already exist, but I feel like I know my destination and I know all my main points of
Mm-hmm.
every single book. And then I think the trick is if you know your characters well enough, they can get you from point A and B to what speaks to them.
Right.
And sometimes it's very easy and it's like exactly what I thought. And then other times we go on like, the scenic route, I'm calling it, or like we break down and we're at an inn and there's one bed and we're like,
Mm.
well, okay, fine, we're gonna make that work too. So I know exactly where it's going. I know how they interlocked. And I have all the main points out. It's just navigating them. I give myself freedom.
Well, because you had said the romance part of it kind of snuck up on you. So,
Yeah, I didn't know that I was gonna, I mean, I do enjoy a good romance book. I
mm-hmm.
think this whole new, it's not new now, but romantasy was a fun thing for me to find as an adult because it almost made reading feel, obviously romance is not kid, but it gave me that like same like
Yes.
thrilling and exciting thing. And I'm all for like girl power. Let's read some romances and enjoy ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed that coming back.
Do you have any rituals or habits that help keep you focused?
Um, because I started this in COVID and everybody was home, I'm a sprint writer.
Okay.
So I can write pretty quick, but the only ritual I have is I listen to music while writing. And I listen to the same song for a specific scene on repeat until that scene is done.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like
I
I've
love
listened to
that.
the same songs. If like I'm struggling with it for like, I mean, 100 times. And my poor family hears it in the car and while I'm
Oh,
cooking.
so you listen to only that.
Yeah,
Like
only
the
that.
okay. So
For
Until
it's
the
like for
not
scene is
just
whatever
while
the
you're
finished.
scene
writing, it
is,
is like full on, like singular song days at a time.
days at a time. Yeah, no. So nobody in my family really loves it. But it apparently it lights up your limbic system in your brain, which allows
Uh-huh.
you to pull on emotions and memories. So that's why you can get nostalgic when you hear songs or get
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it allows me to stay in whatever emotional state I need to be in.
Okay.
It almost like tricks my brain. And then when writing, it feels meditative because there's no end to it. It's just like one continuous loop. So I can
Mm-hmm.
keep track of whether I've listened to it 5 times or, 50.
Yeah.
Do you have a song in mind like before you do a scene, or does the song come to you after the scene?
It depends on the scene. I've
Okay.
had some scenes where I'm like, oh, that song's gonna be perfect for it. And then there's others like I was listening to Pandora at the time and a song called Repeat Until Death by Novo Amor, which sounds really like, I don't know, weird, but it's a beautiful song. I
Uh-huh.
heard it and the trilogy was like born in that song.
Okay.
Oh,
The Beneath trilogy, so the prequel. So it's music's really it. I can write just about anywhere. I write in the school pickup line, cafes, airplanes, wherever I have a minute.
That's you're the first one. Like I could tell every author that I do these spotlights with, I love doing these because I love hearing every author's like the way that they get their inspiration. And you're the first one who has said that they listen to the same song for days. But I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
I
I'm sure
don't
nobody
know
else
what it
does, but I
is.
love
I'm
it.
sure not a lot of people want to, because some songs are like almost ruined for me for a while. When I finally
Uh-huh.
get the scene done, then I'm like, oh my God, I'm never listening to blank song again. And then a couple months later, I'm like, okay, I can like revisit.
So I I danced growing up. And so like you were listening to the same song on repeat and it's like sections of song. And so it's like by the time recital time came, I'm like, do I have to listen to this again?
Yeah, I love it when I danced as well growing up. I love it when they like would play the song in the beginning. You're like, oh my God, I love this song. And then like
Uh-huh.
3 weeks in, you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Or if
And
it
then
was a
like,
song that like you were really excited to dance to and you're like, yes. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, not again. Like I will hear songs now that I did routines to, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like this still.
yeah, that does, some songs have definitely been tainted for me. I won't say
Yes.
ruined, but they have been tainted. Especially
Yes.
ones that I can't get the scene out easy because then I'm like, oh my, I like have that anxiety feeling back
You're like, there are arabesques right here. Like,
all the
let's move
time.
on now. Okay, so Conform itself comes out October 14th, 2025. It's dystopian. There's a little bit of a love triangle happening. There's hidden identities. It is the world in which you created with the structure of the societies and the hierarchies. I just, where did that come from?
I can't pinpoint any one thing that like made it happen. I can say the one of the first things that happened is during COVID, we got one of those like tracing text messages, like when we were
Hmm.
getting with people
Yeah.
and somebody tested positive, and so now we all have to find out if we have to quarantine or test positive.
Right.
And I made a really offhand comment to my husband as we were like complaining at home, and I was like, one day we're all gonna just have a chip in our arm. And that
Hmm.
chip's gonna tell us if we're sick, and it's gonna track where we go, and everybody's just gonna get alerted through this little chip. And I went to bed and I didn't think anything of it. I woke up to nurse my son at like 2:30 in the morning, and like my subconscious brain had like allowed this idea to like explode in
Fester.
food. And
Yeah.
then I nursed him, I got him back to sleep, and I stayed up the rest of the night,
Uh-huh.
like outlining that first book and being like, okay, this is something. And then the next big thing is I think COVID really divided people.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if I won't say I don't know that I don't think that division's gotten better.
Right.
And I thought there was so much being lost in the gray.
Hmm.
And like everybody had a black and white answer to everything. And I thought it was really stunting our connection with people. And so the idea that people were getting lost in the gray birthed the minor defects of like
Hmm.
class of society that is stuck on the ground, unable to move, while these two other groups are moving above and below them freely. And so I really wanted to put that into the narrative. And then I've always been fascinated with clouds my whole life. So I was the kid who had our heads up in the clouds. I saw
Hmm.
shapes in the clouds. I made stories about them. So that was always something I thought would be fun to pull in just from like a nostalgic point. And yeah, so it just was like a slow process, and then the rules came, and
Uh-huh.
it just kind of clicked.
I love the color, like the color hierarchy. Because I mean, that's something that existed in like way back when, like with princes and kings and like all of that, like olden times. I can't even think of the word right now.
Multiple class systems.
Yeah.
Multiple class systems, because it's like the people who had money, like they were the elaborate, like bright colors, and then you had like the peasants who couldn't afford those things. And I thought it was an interesting like juxtaposition of the way that you combined like old style but new at the same time.
Yeah, I think that really came from the idea, and I'm happy you picked up on it, of history always repeats itself,
Yeah.
whether
Hmm.
we like it or not. That really inspired a lot of this book. And so, I mean, even the rules, I looked back at like 1940s, 1950s, like housewife rules for the
Hmm.
and like that inspired a lot of it. And then the colors being, hard to get back in the day, like you were saying, that was also part of it. And just the idea that everything can be so colorful if you're in the right spot, and
Yeah.
everything can be illuminated and highlighted. And then for other areas, it's not. And then the colors also um, are Easter eggs to the next book. So you can
Oh.
kind of track, they're like little highlighters tracking things for you between the past and the present.
Oh.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to reread and reframe.
If I did my work right, which I'm not gonna toot
Well,
the horn, but it should read completely different after you read the prequel.
I was going to
Okay.
say we'll have to read the prequel and then maybe go back and reread if we're not catching the Easter eggs.
Yes.
But oh, I'm so intrigued now. Not that
Yeah.
I wasn't before, but oh man.
Yeah, I just like to bring people into like, the crazy web in my head.
Well, so I don't read books in order. I like will read a book, but I like flip through it. We refer to as Leah in a book at this point, and I'm
Yes.
giving air quotes, but nobody can see them. But so like I will start a book and I'll go like two or three chapters into it, and if I'm not really like jamming with the book, I will skip to like the middle and read like four or five chapters. And sometimes I skip back to a portion, but not necessarily where I left off the first time. But then, so I will read an entire book completely out of order. So this actually, you releasing these the way you are just speaks to my
Yeah.
heart in a
That's
You
way
have
that I
your,
was not anticipating.
It was always for someone like you who would see it. I'm so enthralled with the idea of reading a book that way because that
Yeah.
is an interest. It's almost like you're like building something, but you only know the pieces that you need while you're reading it.
Uh-huh. Well, it's honestly, it's TikTok's fault sometimes because I will come across a quote where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. So I will download a book and go to that specific quote, and it doesn't matter where in the book that it is. And then I will like read to the end and then skip back to the beginning.
Oh my God.
I, it- it's a whole world that only I live in.
I love it. I love quirks. So that's amazing.
But so let's go back to your book.
Let's talk about my quirks.
Well,
oh,
and the way that this book is too, it has like Hunger Games, Divergent, Red Queen, Handmaid's
Maid's Tale.
Tale,
Yeah.
like all these different like vibes that we have read in previous books, like meshed together but evolved in a completely different way.
Completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm flattered by that. I don't have anything other to say than to be in the same sentence with those type of titles, thrills my reader brain and makes me very, very happy.
Well, if it wasn't on purpose, like it worked really well.
No, I don't think it was on purpose. I think we're all inspired by different things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I can't say it, no work of art is ever individual. Like we all have our own life experiences and things we've done that we're inspired by.
Hmm.
I can't say there's any one thing I wanted to pull on, but yeah, it's a collection of things that have spoken to me throughout my life.
Well, I mean, artists, like, they don't have periods for nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have things that like come to you at certain times and really,
hmm.
um, yeah, this was just kind of how the narrative went, but I love being in the same conversation with so many brilliant, brilliant writers and stories.
Yeah. And I think right now the time is here for more of these stories.
Hmm.
So it's definitely giving us a more to think about and ruminate about. And I don't know. It felt very timely for me reading
I
it.
appreciate
So
hearing that. I had one agent when I was querying tell me no. I actually had quite a few, but I had one tell me no and said that dystopian was dead. And I was like, I don't think so. And I'm happy to,
But thank you
know
for
that
the
it's
feedback.
not. But yeah, so it's nice to know that these stories, although sometimes heavier,
Yeah.
still very wanted and enjoy. Like I tried to make it too, and putting the romance in for me, it was almost like that way of being like, here's something really hard to hold,
Hmm.
but it's pretty to hold. Like, here's
yeah.
something to make it where it doesn't hurt as bad while you like
Well,
read something
but
this
it's
heavy.
but it hurts a lot too at
It
the
hurts a
same
lot too.
time.
It
Because
does.
Emmeline, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Emily.
So as Amanda says in her one comment here, she starts out obedient and she's isolated, but she grows like willing to start questioning everything. But she has she goes through a lot in this
Yeah.
book, and I am guaranteeing that we have only like skimmed the surface of the chaos that like follows her.
Yeah, poor Emily. She has a lot more coming, but I will say that this first book, I think, is more heartbreaking than the rest in her story because
Okay.
she, in this one, I think, is trying to break free of what society has told her to be.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think she still doesn't have enough belief in herself, and her fear is too big for her to
Hmm.
really make the decisions that I think readers are going to want to see her make. And I wanted it to be relatable. Like we all have something that we want to do more than anything else in this world. And if you write down all the reasons why you haven't, typically at the top of the list is yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not, and when you finally do even step into it, there are setbacks, there's hardships. And so I wanted that to be real. And while it can be frustrating at times, like typically when you chase something that matters to you or when you need to grow, it's not comfortable.
No.
So I wanted to give her that story and like shine light on the fact that it's not fun to always choose yourself and to choose what you think is right for you.
And I think you balance it in a really good way so that you still feel this thread of hope for her. You feel like
Mm-hmm.
she's going to get there. Even in this first book, it is very heartbreaking and at times just painful, but I still feel that thread of like she's going to get there. And I think balancing the romance with that, it gives that big, it ties all that up into this big ball of hope that we feel like we're going to get there for her and everyone else, hopefully.
We're all going to get somewhere. We will, I can
Yeah.
say that much, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm glad that reads through because I don't want it to be hopeless for her. And I think her biggest challenge is not trying. I think right now she's trying to squash her fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think she's got to learn to walk with it. So we'll have to see how she does that in the next one.
Well, and she's a character who she's in the gray, and like society as a whole has told them like this is how you act, this is what you do, these are your rules. Like rule 10 is a like a big thing like through things. And it's one of but it's when you see that things are not always what you've been told, and like there's truths that are coming to light, and how like then there's the uprising with the reaper and like that whole story, which I have theories, let me tell you. But like she's really like the rose-colored glasses have come off, for the lack of a better term. And so like but she has people from all sides like pulling her in different directions, and she's like, who should I trust? Who can I trust? Can I trust this piece of what this person is saying? So there's such a complexity to the way that you've created the story.
Yeah, I wanted it to be something that you want to get involved in and have theories about and like talk about it. Because my favorite thing is when a book stays with you when you finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And like you need to find that person and be like, hang on, if you haven't read this, read this so that I can now like divulge all the things that are keeping me up at night. And so I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to put that out there. And I think it just makes it more relatable because like most people don't walk in and say, hey, I'm a bad guy
Right.
or I'm a good
Oh
person.
yeah.
Sure.
Like you come like with all these facades and these looks and these things. And I wanted to bring that to my characters to make them complex.
Well, and I think like for Colin and Hal, like there are two like main male characters in this story. Like I think they're good but bad at the same time. Like they have that they're the morally gray where they do might do bad things for good reasons, or maybe they do bad things for bad reasons. Like we really don't know yet. Like we are left in like the unknown still. But like they're those characters that you really like you can't wait to find out more. Like what is their motivation? Like why are they making these decisions?
Yeah, they are both heavily morally gray. And I also can say this with complete confidence that neither one of them is a bad guy. Like they might make, like you said, they make bad
Yeah.
decisions for sure.
Yeah,
And they might be on the wrong side of things too. But neither one of them is like, I didn't want to make a love triangle where there's the hero and the villain.
right.
I
Yeah.
wanted to make a love triangle where it's like, really, it's Emmeline's who needs to win in the end of this. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like both these men offer something. And if one of she needs to find out what speaks to her more so than like, oh, I can never go down, this path because
Right.
he's so terrible or whatever it is. I just wanted it to be more complex than that and to give her to highlight more parts of her because I think you learn so much through romantic relationships. So this is a way for her when being denied so much human connection in her world for her to really discover things about herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you've written this kind of love triangle, typically readers will pick a favorite. Have you heard from a lot of readers on who their favorite is, and are
I
you surprised by it at all?
I'm surprised that it's so split.
Yeah.
I was expecting for one of them to be like the winner for
Mm-hmm.
sure at the end of this book, and it's not that way. And people are
Well,
defending
it's
it
because
with
you
their
gave us that little twist, and who,
there is a little twist.
Yeah.
yes. So people probably changed their minds.
Yeah, I did have that, though. They're like, I was so firmly here, and then this happened, and I'm like, I know. And so it is the first thing people tell me, other than I can't stand your ending because it was so brutal.
Oh,
And
I love the ending.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you're
Loved it.
welcome. Like,
Yes.
Loved it.
yeah, and I'm also like, thank you, because I needed it better. But then other than that, it's like, also, by the way, I am Team Hal or Team Colin till I die. I will not hear otherwise. And I'm like, all right. So it's been fun to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm usually like pretty solid on one or the other when I read a love triangle, and I'm not decided yet. So I think that is a testament to you doing what you set out to do and making them both extremely complex and relatable. So,
yeah, I too, even before the twist, I was on the fence.
yep,
Like I wasn't sure because I was like, I see this happening, but I think that he could be this. But I see this happening, but he could be this, or they could be this. And so I was like, I couldn't pick a side. Although I
yep.
do really enjoy Gregory
Yes, he's my favorite.
And
and
I think
Barrett. I really like Barrett a lot too. Like
Aaron is very funny.
there's a great supporting ensemble cast that you created that,
Yes.
which is why like I needed to know how many books we are getting because I need more of these people.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, they're I'm happy that you love them. I love them all very, very much. And
Hmm.
Gregory is my favorite character to write in this
Yeah.
story for sure. Like I love all of
Yeah.
them, but he has just got a special, he walked in like into my brain fully formed and like fully broken and fully himself. And so he has been incredibly fun.
I think his character arc is going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully. We're
I'm not going to say anything on that.
No,
no, we're
no,
not
we
trying to we're not trying
know.
to
We're
trick
not
you.
even asking. We are just like, we're just
We
saying.
have theories. We
We
have
do.
theories.
We can share our theories after we're off.
We can
And you do
share
not have to
after.
confirm nor deny anything, but we are going to share our theories.
I will say that he's fun, but so many of the side characters really, really
Yeah.
like have a place in my heart.
Yeah, and some like you don't always get that in a story like this is the really strong like ensemble where there's like a decisiveness of like thought process and the way that they come across. And I think you did a really good job in the way you created the divide, but it's going to come together in a way that we're not anticipating at the same time. At least that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started editing this, one of the questions I got is like, hey, there's a lot of characters. Do we need them? And I was very, very passionate that I promise you that if a character's been written into this stage, they
There's
have
a
a
purpose.
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't know if you guys know the theory of like Sonder, but it's like the idea that every person you've ever met is living a complex internal life that has their own like wants and needs. And I like apply that to all my characters. So
Hmm.
none of my characters walk in without, you know, their own wants and needs and ambitions. And then what do those ambitions do for this plot line? Like, what does
Yeah.
it do for the main character and for the side stories going? And then, like I said, in having kind of a map based plot line, I need to know them well enough to know where they're going to want to go as we go down the path and what they're doing when they're not on the page as well.
See, I didn't think your pages were crowded at all. I think the way that the world is created with the different levels, like you needed, because there's the worlds are still separate at this point. Like you have the hierarchy and the lower like people in the underworld essentially, which I love that like side of it. It's like they're living in the catacombs of France type of thing. But I think that if you hadn't had like the amount of characters that you had, like the story itself would not be as vibrant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need different representations of each class because it's not a monolith. Like it
Yes.
each class encompasses a variety of people, and I think all of your characters have a purpose. They all bring something to the table in explaining this world. Yeah, I didn't feel they were crowded at all.
That makes me happy. The only one that doesn't have a wide cast is unfortunately the women in gray because they are an all like they're all the same, which is so
Yeah.
sad. But that was the
Hmm.
only like class group that I didn't explore in this one because they weren't given, you know, freedom to.
But you two, I mean, you do a little bit without saying
A
who or
little.
what. There's a little that I mean, and
But
she has a purpose.
I think that there's a reason. Like we have reasons for that. And the gray is maybe going to be a little shadier than it was.
Yeah, we might find some different shades of gray.
Yeah.
Which that was a really bad like analogy or metaphor. You know what I mean, but it worked.
It worked. I knew where you were going.
So next is the prequel, correct? And then what is after the prequel?
After the prequel is the second story to conform.
Okay. Now, so are we going to be flip-flopping, like conform, prequel, conform, prequel?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to be flip-flopping, so it'll be...
And then the final 3 books will be their own entity after the fact.
Yes, I think we're going to have to wait. As much as I would love to take readers on 3 different trilogies at the same time, I think I have to
it's going to be a lot for you.
A little bit of space. But yeah, those ones will come whenever I get the green light to give them, because they're my favorite ones to, when I can't write in other things, that's what I go write in. So
very excited about this.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to be really, cagey on that.
Oh yeah,
no,
absolutely.
cagey is great because honestly, cagey is what makes people come back.
Yeah.
I like cagey. Well, thank you so much. We could talk forever about this, but we want to make sure that you go and read the book.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Ariel, for coming and chatting with us. It has been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, and we can talk theories after we stop.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. We will. I'm holding you hostage for a little bit. That doesn't sound creepy, people. I promise.
Sorry. Oh, and I do want to mention really quick, I saw we were talking about maps in a different way, but I did see the reveal for the map in the book on social media, and it is gorgeous. If you guys have not pre-ordered your copy yet, you should absolutely do that. So
yeah, Francesca did a beautiful, beautiful job. It was probably the thing I was the most giddy about is like, I love a map in the front of a book.
Oh, I love a map too.
And the only thing I love more than that is acknowledgments, because I'd like to know what gets people to write these books. But she did such a stunning job, and it was like such a fun thing to see. Like, I call my books my mind palace. So to see
oh my gosh, I'm looking at the pictures right now. That is nice.
So good, right?
So good.
She did so well. I want it like printed and framed, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I could see that on my wall. Go over to Instagram and check it out. I'm telling you, people, it's amazing.
Yes.
And on that note, thank you again. And until next time, happy reading, everybody.
Find us on Instagram at BuzzingAboutRomance or on Twitter at BuzzingRomance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.